Hello and welcome students on your amazing learning platform Learn Forward, and we are starting today our class 4 with chapter number 1. Yes, so this chapter says it is green plants. So we will start this chapter green plants and we'll see what this chapter holds. Okay, let's start. Let us start with this picture based activity. So they are asking to label these different parts that you are seeing here. You have to label them. Okay. So because you have already studied about green plants and green leaves, so you have to give names to the parts that are labeled over here. So first one, this picture is given later in the chapter as well, but let's start doing it. So this is this part. This part is the stalk through which this leaf attaches to the plant. Okay, so this is the stalk, or it is called as petiole or stalk, both we can say. Now next, this middle, this stalk extend to the middle of the leaf. So this is called as midrib. It is called as midrib. Okay, fine. Now next, this one, this part is called as, you can call it as lamina or margin. I am writing here lamina. Okay, and these yellow color structures, these yellow lines, can you see over here? These are called as side veins or simply veins. So I am writing over here side veins. These are called as side veins. Okay, we'll see all these parts later in the chapter also. So let's start the chapter. Plants are found all over the world. They are found all over the world. There are many different kinds of plants around us, but most plants have some common plant parts. So when you go out, what do you see? You see that there are these big plants. Some are middle heighted, some are very small. Okay, so the big plants mostly, because they only differ in their leaf structure, leaf shape, their crown shape and all this. Basic body design of big trees is same. They have a root, they have a strong stem of wood, then leaves, the crowny part, branches, all these parts. Okay, so they have a common basic body design with all plant parts. Okay, so plants, especially the green ones, because plants are of some other colors as well, but mostly the plants are of green color. So plants, especially the green ones, are the basic source of food for all living beings. Why we are saying this? Because green plants have chlorophyll, and only green plants can prepare the food. Means they can prepare the food in the presence of sunlight. They can convert that sunlight, that sun energy, into some chemical called as food. Fine. So they are only living beings that can make their own food. They are making their own food, as well as they are preparing food for us, means human beings that are dependent on green plants. Now let us learn about leaf, because leaves are the main part that are involved in the food processing or food synthesis process. Okay, so now the part of the plant that makes the food the plant needs to live and grow. So plant is preparing food for itself as well as for human beings and animals that are dependent on plants. So the first part that we are going to start here is leaf. So we'll start with leaves. Plants have so many leaves, means uncountable, you cannot count them. So plants have so many leaves because food of the plant is made in them. So they have so many leaves, and every leaf is involved in the food making process. Now the leaves are mostly green in color because they have a green pigment. Now this is important. They have a green pigment called, what it is called? It is chlorophyll. Okay, it is green color pigment, and mostly the plants, they appear green because they have this green color pigment. Now green leaves of plant make food, but roots and stems also help them in this work. So not only because only these leaves are present on the crowny part, means the upper part of the plant. So they are involved in food making process. But how these different things that are required for food making process reaches till leaves? So for that, roots and stem also perform some function that help the leaves to prepare their food. Okay, let's see how. The leaves of the green plant are often called, what they are called? They are called as kitchen of the plant. Why they are called as kitchen of the plant? Why? Because in your kitchen, the kitchen that is in your house, what is the purpose of that place? Your mother generally goes there and prepares food. So same happens in the plants. So leaves are the place where food is being prepared. So that is why it is called as kitchen of the plant. Because they prepare food, same thing, the leaves are generally broad and flat. So again reason why leaves are broad and flat, so that everything can go there easily with the help of these mid veins and side veins, everything. And why they are broad? Because the surface area matters how much food is prepared. Okay. So now next is parts of leaf. Now leaf also have different parts, the same that we have labeled in our first slide. Okay, the first one, this one. So they have different parts. Most leaves have three main parts. They have three main parts. What are they? Stalk, leaf blade and veins. So stalk, this is leaf blade that I have mentioned lamina as lamina, okay, and veins. So these are the three main parts. Midrib is also a part, but these three are most important. Let us learn about these three parts. So first one is stalk. So where is the stalk? This is the stalk, and what I have told you, that the stalk connects the leaf to the stem. So leaf is attached to the stem with the help of stalk. Same. So this stalk helps the leaf to get attached to the stem of the plant. Okay. Now next is leaf blade. So leaf blade, this entire green broad surface is called as leaf blade. It is a flattened part of the leaf. It varies in different plants. How it varies? It varies in shape and sizes. Some have very small and very tiny leaf blade. Okay, some have long leaves. Some have broad leaves. So in some plant it is broad and in some plant it is narrow. Have you seen a leaf of a sugar cane? It is like this. A maize plant, it is like this. I have a plant with me. I can show you here. The type of leaves, can you see? These are long leaves. Fine. And one leaf you are seeing where? On the screen. So there this leaf is broad. Okay. So they are different in shape and sizes. Now midrib. When you turn the leaf, you will see a main leaf running along the center of the leaf. So this line. Okay. A quite prominent line. You can easily locate it when you turn the leaf back. So you'll see a thick line going from the center of the leaf. Okay. So this is called as midrib. Fine. Next is side veins. So smaller means thinner lines that are arising from the midrib are called as side veins. So let's see what is written over here. There are so many side veins, many, because through these side veins, this water and everything that is required for the leaves to prepare food reaches to the leaf and its cells. Okay. These veins help in the transportation of substances. Okay, same thing. So these leaves, they help in the transportation of substances to the leaves. They transport water, they transport minerals and prepare food to all parts of the plant. Fine. So through these veins, all things reach to the plant cells, the leaves, the cells that are present in the leaf. So all the plant cells, and they prepare food for the plant. Okay. Now last part is stomata, that is not visible with your naked eyes. You cannot see, whenever you are seeing any leaf, you cannot see these stomatas over there. You need a microscope to observe stomatas. Okay, they are very tiny holes that are not visible to your open eyes. You need microscope. They are very tiny, they are very minute. You require microscope to observe stomata. So what are these? The lower layer of the leaf has tiny pores. They have tiny pores, very small pores, and they again have a significance. These are millions in number. There are so many. So these tiny pores are called stomatas, and stomata help the plants to breathe. They help the plant to breathe. Second thing, later again in the slides you will see that for photosynthesis these plants require carbon dioxide. So that gas also enters into the leaf through these stomatas. Okay. Now what is the function of the leaf? So first thing we are talking continuously about it, that photosynthesis is the function that is basically with the leaves. So first function is that. Leaf is an important part of the plant and serves many functions. Let's see what are they. Leaves give the shape and color to the plant. So first thing we know that the trunk of the plant, that stem part, is woody. So it is always brown in color. So what part of the plant gives its green color? So it is generally the leaves. So first thing, they give shape and color to the plant. Next, some leaves can be eaten as food, like spinach. So very good example. You might have eaten this spinach. The Hindi is palak. So spinach is example of leaves of a plant that can be eaten. Means edible leaves. Okay. Mint, coriander, cabbage, onion. These all are leaves of the plant. So these are edible part of the plant as well. We generally don't eat leaves of every plant, but some of the vegetables are leafy. Next, some plants' leaves have medicinal properties like tulsi and neem. So these are used in medicinal properties they have, and they are used in factories to prepare different types of medicines because they have that property. Some leaves are used to decorate your houses as well, like croton and maple. So these leaves are used for decoration. They are dried, pressed, dried. When all moisture content of the leaf has gone away, then it is used for drawing purpose, or you can write quotations over there and you can draw things over them. Okay. Now next is photosynthesis. Okay, now. Okay, this one fact is written over here, that plants give out oxygen. They give out oxygen. Just now I have told you that they require carbon dioxide also. For what? For photosynthesis. And after photosynthesis, what they give? They give oxygen out. And that oxygen is used by us to breathe. Okay. So they give oxygen and excess water through stomata. So again, if you are asked for the function of stomata, so what is the function? They are used for the respiration process, exchange of gases, as well as excess water is removed from the body of the plant through these stomata. Now photosynthesis. So regularly we are talking about photosynthesis since we have started the chapter. So what is this process? The process by which green plants, mind it, we are talking about green plants only, because photosynthesis process can be done only in green plants, not the other, like if the plants are of purple color, they have purple color leaves, still they have chlorophyll, but in very small amount, means the brown color pigment or the purple color pigment is dominant, means in more amount in that particular plant. Okay, still they have chlorophyll, and if the plant have chlorophyll, they will perform photosynthesis. So plants produce the food. Green plants manufacture sugars. So we are saying that photosynthesis is something in which food is being prepared. So in which form this food is prepared? In the form of sugar like glucose. So glucose is the food that is prepared in the plants. And what are the raw materials? Means whenever you go to the kitchen, and whenever your mother goes to the kitchen and want to prepare Maggi, just suppose she wants to prepare Maggi for you. So she will take a pan, she will take water, she will add that spices and masalas, everything, then add noodles there, and just do rest of the thing. If you want excess of salt or something, anything. Okay, oil also is put there. So these all things are ingredient, means the raw material to prepare a cooked dish, that is Maggi. So in the same way here, the raw materials to prepare these sugar glucose here in the plants is water, next thing carbon dioxide, next is sunlight, and always it is done in the presence of chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is the fourth requirement. So now again count with me. Water is required for photosynthesis. Next, carbon dioxide is required, sunlight is required, and chlorophyll is required. There are 4 requirements. Okay, carbon dioxide, water, carbon dioxide in the gaseous form, water in liquid form, then sunlight should be there and chlorophyll should be there. Okay, so these are the raw materials. These are the requirements for the process of photosynthesis. Fine, done. Now what this word photosynthesis means? Photo means sunlight. We are talking about photo. Whenever you go to a photographer, or whenever you click a photograph with your phone, what you do? You just click on it and a flash of light comes and your photo has been clicked. So same happens here. Photo means light. And what type of light? Only sunlight is required. Okay. And synthesis means to combine, to bring together, to make something. Okay. So here photo means sunlight. Synthesis means to combine or to make. So to make anything in the presence of sunlight is called as photosynthesis. Now process of photosynthesis can be written as, okay, now this is important again. This is the equational form of the process, photosynthesis. So here we are saying that carbon dioxide, the gas that comes from the stomatas into the plant, combines with water, and this water is coming from the roots, then to stem, then to leaves. So these two things combine in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So if plant have chlorophyll, then only photosynthesis can happen and sunlight should be there. Okay. So in the presence of these two things, what is prepared? Glucose, a simple sugar is prepared, and what is given off? Oxygen in the form of gas is liberated out of the plant. And that oxygen, this oxygen is not necessary for the plant. So it just gives it off. It does not require it. But our body, as human beings, as animals, we require this oxygen for breathing. So we take this oxygen and give off carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide that we give is taken by the plants to prepare their food. Okay. So this is a continuous cycle. Now photosynthesis can take place only in daylight. Okay. Because sunlight is present. Chlorophyll has a property to absorb sunlight. So why we are continuously saying that sunlight should be present and chlorophyll should be present? Why? Because chlorophyll can trap the sunlight that is coming from the sun and thus traps energy from the sun. Fine. Air enters the leaf through stomata. Air enters this carbon dioxide enters through the leaf, through stomatas to the leaf, and it reaches the space between the cells. Carbon dioxide is taken from the air, water is absorbed through the roots. So here they are saying that these requirements, we already know that what are the 4 requirements, but from which places we are getting this things. So first they are saying carbon dioxide is taken from the air. So carbon dioxide is entering the leaf. Water is absorbed through the roots. So water is coming from the roots to the stem, then to the branches, then to the leaves. It travels up the stem and enters the leaf. Union of means fusion of, combination of carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide and water makes simple sugar called glucose, and oxygen is produced. So here glucose is produced and oxygen is produced. Glucose is stored as food and oxygen is given off in the atmosphere. So same thing, oxygen is given off because plants do not require oxygen. They do not, it is a waste product for plants, but it is a very useful product for human beings. So we require this oxygen. So plant, after preparing oxygen, they just give it off to the atmosphere. Now chlorophyll controls the reaction without taking part in it. So chlorophyll, what it is doing, it is only trapping the sunlight and just speeding up the process. So such substances are called as catalysts. They are actually not the part of the process, but they are helping the process to take place. Okay. In other words, chlorophyll works here as a catalyst. So catalyst, something that speeds up the process. So here catalyst is same. Okay, now there is one activity to prove that sunlight is essential for photosynthesis. So how can we prove it that without sunlight plants cannot photosynthesize? So for that, what you have to do, cover a healthy leaf partly with a black paper. So what you have to do, take a leaf, potted plant means take a potted plant and a leaf should be covered with a black paper. Just attach 2 pins over it, that paper clips, okay, and you just cover one part or portion of the leaf. Keep the plant under sun for 4 to 5 hours. Now you have to keep this plant with this covered leaf, one covered leaf, out in the sun. Later, boil the leaf in water. Then you have to pluck the leaf and boil it in the water. Boil the leaf in alcohol to bleach it properly. Next, you have to boil it in a alcohol. Alcohol means here we are saying ethyl alcohol, and it is a laboratory alcohol, ethyl alcohol, okay. Next, wash the leaf now with cold water to remove all the color. Add a few drops of iodine solution. Why we are adding iodine here? Because iodine with starch gives blue and black color. Means if a leaf have starch, when will it have starch? When it has photosynthesized. Means if photosynthesis has taken place, so then starch or glucose must have been present there, okay. So there, if you put iodine drops over this leaf and the color has changed to blue or black color, that means starch is present over here, okay, in the leaves. If it doesn't, because original color of iodine is brownish yellow, if it doesn't change its color, that means no sugar or no starch is present there, okay. So there, iodine solution to the bleached leaf you have to put. Now next, partly colored leaves. Now they have shown this process in here. Boil the leaf in water, then boil the leaf in alcohol, then wash the leaf in cold water and put iodine drop on the leaves. Now what is the conclusion? That the leaf turns blue-black. Same thing, if starch is present, then iodine react and give blue or black color to the leaf. Blue, black color except the covered part. Means the part that already have been covered with the black paper. If the entire leaf has given blue or black color except that covered part, that means rest every part of the leaf have photosynthesized or taken out photosynthesis process and have prepared glucose and starch, but only the covered part, because it haven't received the sunlight, so it haven't prepared this food, okay. So this is how this activity has been designed, okay. So now how do plants use their food? Because they are preparing this food, so how they utilize it? First thing, to get energy. To get energy. You know that we already know that food is something that acts as fuel to our body as well. So their plants also get energy from that plant food, okay. Next, to build cells and repair damages. So now again, your body, just suppose you have fallen off and you have got a slight wound, okay. So if you eat vitamin C rich food and everything that is required for healing that wound, so there what is happening? Because you are eating good food, so your cells and your wound has been repaired. So to repair the damaged cell, again it is required. Next, to store food in the form of starch. So remember one thing, always, that plants prepare glucose, a simple sugar, as food, but it always store food in the form of starch. Fine. It always store food in the form of starch. Means many glucose units, they combine together to make one starch molecule. So when this glucose is prepared there in the plants by photosynthesis, these subunits, they start accumulating and they form a bigger unit called as starch. So this is also sugar, this is also sugar, but this is a simple sugar, this is a complex sugar. So whenever plants prepare food, they prepare food in the form of glucose. But whenever they store this food in their plant body, so it is stored in the form of starch. So now next, same thing they have written. Now next, here there are some of the parts of some of the plants that are edible. So here leaves of spinach are edible, okay. So we don't generally eat root of spinach or flowers of spinach, we eat what? The leaf part. Next, flowers. So of cauliflower, this is the flower part, fluorescence, okay. So flowers are eaten of cauliflower. Now stems, sugarcane. You know that stems, these sugar canes are the stem part of the plant and starch is stored there. Every edible part of plant have starch. Okay. So they have sugar cane, they have celery. Celery again is a drumsticks also. So they have stem part, they have this stored food and we use it as edible part. Underground stems, in underground stems, potato, ginger and onion. These are underground but they are not roots. So they are stem part of the plant. So these are used as food. Roots, turnip, radish and carrot. So these are tap roots. In previous classes we have covered this fibrous and taproot. So turnip, radish and carrot, they are taproot, edible taproots. Now next is seeds. Seeds of peas, seeds of beans, seeds of gram, seeds of groundnut, seeds of mustard, these are edible. Next is fruit. Tomato is a fruit, though we call them as vegetables, but tomato, chili, mango, these all are fruit part of the plant. Now some unusual plants. Some unusual, why we are calling them unusual? Let's see. Plants like cactus. You all know cactus? The plant with thorns or spines, okay? So plants like cactus do not have leaves. So the green part that we see generally, what it is? Photosynthesis takes place in their green fleshy stems. So the part that you see in a cactus, the fleshy thick part, that is actually not the leaves of the plant, these are the stem of the plants and they carry out photosynthesis because they are green in color. Plants like mushrooms and molds. Now what are these molds? Molds are form of fungus. Writing over here, okay, fungus. So plants like mushrooms and molds do not have chlorophyll. So this is a picture of a mushroom. So you know that it is not green in color and if it is not green in color, it doesn't have chlorophyll. So they do not have chlorophyll, they cannot make their own food because chlorophyll is not present and chlorophyll is responsible for trapping the sunlight. So if chlorophyll is not present, sunlight is not present and sunlight is not present, that means they cannot make their food. They get their food from dead plants and animals, hence they grow in damp places. Now what is this damp? Means moisture place, place that have enough moisture. So what they do, they generally grow on something that is dead and decaying. Means if some part of fruit has fallen from the tree, now it is a dead part because now it is not a part of living being. Okay, it has been detached from the living part. Now later on, after 1 or 2 days, it will start rotting. Means it will start decaying off. So becoming stale. So on that fruit part, a fungus can grow. So generally because it doesn't have chlorophyll, it cannot prepare its food. So where it is getting its food? From dead plants and animals. Now again, some plants like crotons, this is the picture, have red leaves because of a red pigment in them. So they have a red color pigment, that is why, because whatever the color of the pigment, the same will be the color of the plant. Okay, they have chlorophyll too. Same thing, this I have already explained you that if a plant appears purple, if a plant appears red, they have chlorophyll also, but they have other colored pigments in excess. But the red color pigment hides the green color. Photosynthesis takes place in such leaves too. Why? Because they also have chlorophyll. Now next, this question, this is your homework question because everything we have discussed, so this you have to do in your, this is a crossword puzzle, everything. First I can tell you the process by which green plants make food, photosynthesis. So this long line will be of photosynthesis. So this one I am doing only for you, rest you have to find on your own. So this is photosynthesis, fine. This is a homework question, you have to do it on your own. Now next, interdependence of plants and animals. You know that we as animals are dependent on plants and plants also dependent on us for some of their purposes or some of their processes. So let's see how. Animals and plants depend on each other for life, for continuing their life, for surviving, for getting food, for getting dispersed from one place to another place. Okay, plants provide food and shelter to animals. They also produce oxygen which purifies the air that we breathe in. So first thing and last thing also that we have discussed, that photosynthesis process, plants produce oxygen and that oxygen is given off from the body of the plant and we utilize that oxygen as our surviving gas. Okay, So here they are saying that plants in the presence of sunlight producing what? Something that is needed by this cow, then by this this girl is eating this carrot and it is a part of plant. This cow is eating the grass, again grass is a plant. Now this girl and this cow, they have released some carbon dioxide and that carbon dioxide is taken by the plant again to produce oxygen. Now human beings and animals take in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. Okay, discussed. The carbon dioxide is needed to the plant to make the food, again discussed. Animals also provide the manure to the plant. Okay, animals provide manure to the plant means all the waste material that is given off from the animals, means cow dung. Okay, an example I am giving you, that cow dung is something that can be added to plants or soil as manure so that they can give fertility to the soil, can increase productivity of the plants. In this way, plants give something to human beings, oxygen, and animals and they in turn give something to plants. This interdependence helps both of them to survive. So this is very important because all herbivores animals, they depend on plants for their food, and animals are dependent on the plants for their food as well as because plants are the ultimate producers. They can change the sunlight to some food. So we as animals are dependent directly or indirectly. If I am eating any animal, so that animal has eaten the plants. So that is why we are interdependent. Okay, now complete the exercises. We have studied enough about photosynthesis and green plants and types of pigment that they have. So let's start. First question. Plants prepare their food in the form of glucose. Okay, true. This food is used by the plants for making flowers and fruits, making leaves, repairing damaged parts, all of these. It is used for making leaves. Can it be used for making leaves? Because leaves only are producing the food. So it is repairing damaged parts. Okay, for growth, for repairing their damaged part. This can be done. Now, food prepared by what of plants to use, that is used for daily activities of plants. The extra food gets stored as. So first thing, you know that food is prepared by the what part of the plant? You know that leaves. And this is the only option that have leaves in their first place. And second, food gets stored as starch. So this one. Okay. Food is prepared in leaves and food is stored as starch. Choose the correct option. Plants make their food with the help of what? Sunlight, water, oxygen? No, oxygen is liberated. Chlorophyll and oxygen. Oxygen is not at all required by the plants for photosynthesis. So sunlight, water, chlorophyll and carbon dioxide. This one is true. Okay. Next. Which of these plants part make food? So very easy, leaves. Mold cannot make any food because it lacks chlorophyll. Remember, molds and mushrooms, they are non-green. And if they are non-green, they do not have chlorophyll. Sugarcane plant store food in their stems. What do you eat of sugarcane? Stems only. Okay. Fill in the blanks. The leaves of a green plant are often called as kitchen of the plant or food factories. Dash help the plant to breathe. What part? Leaves only. Or stomata. Specifically, if you want to write, you can write stomata. Generally, if you want to write, it is leaf. Leaf is attached to the stem with the help of stalk. Okay, remember this part? This is the stalk. Carbon dioxide plus water. This you have to fill. Glucose plus oxygen. So what are the other two requirements? One is carbon dioxide, one is water. Another one is sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay, I am writing in short. Chlorophyll. Extra food is turned into starch. Remember, food is produced as glucose but stored as starch. Now you have to put a tick for true statements and cross for a false statement. All plants have green leaves. All plants have green leaves? No. Some have red, some have purple, some have yellow. Now sunlight provides the energy for photosynthesis. True. Plants take in sunlight through the stomatas. They take in sunlight through stomatas. You can say because inside these stomatas there are chlorophyll molecules because cells have chlorophyll and sunlight is trapped in the chlorophyll molecules. The food is stored in the plant as starch. The food is stored in the plant as starch, true, because glucose is formed. Food does not help the plant to grow, wrong. This is the first function of food. Match the following stomatas. These are tiny holes in the underside of the leaf. If this is how the leaf is, this side have stomatas. Now leaf are called as food factory of the plant. This one. Chlorophyll, green pigment. By now I hope you can answer all these questions. Starch stored as food in the plants, and water goes to the leaf through the veins. Fine. Now subjective questions. Quickly I am answering here. What are the parts of the plant? Can you answer them? Yes, all the parts of the plant. These are root, stem, then leaves, branches, bud, flowers. Okay. Stomatas you can also write. Now name 4 things needed by the leaf to produce food. Again this question is your homework because we have discussed several times the 4 requirements of photosynthesis. What is chlorophyll? Where it is found. Chlorophyll is the green color pigment that is present in the leaves of the plant. Where is the food stored in the plant? So the edible parts of the plant stores food in their plant parts. Now write the process of photosynthesis in your own words. So photosynthesis is a process in which green plants prepare their food in the presence of carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. And what is the name of that food that is produced? That is glucose. And always food is stored in the form of starch. Now write 3 functions of leaf. They give green color to the plant. They act as food factory, means they are involved in the food production process. And next thing, they help in giving off oxygen to the animals. Now describe an experiment to show that sunlight is essential. Again this you have to do from the book. I am showing you again the same page where this activity has been jotted down. This one. Okay. So you have to write one experiment which shows that photosynthesis requires sunlight. Fine. So this is the end of the chapter and this is happy learning. Okay.